Good morning and welcome to episode 34 of the Blue Fern Yarn Podcast. My name is Shannon and I am the face, dyer, designer, order packer and everything in between for Blue Fern Yarns. You can find me on all social media as Blue Fern Yarns. You can find me on my website, which is bluefernyarns.co.uk, where you can find my hand-dyed yarns, higher knitting needles and crochet hooks, and other notions, handmade stitch markers, needle stoppers, patterns that I've designed, and lots of other things. I'm sure there's more things, but I can't think what they are right now. It has been about a month since I last recorded and posted, and actually I'm quite excited to try and get these podcast episodes a little bit more regular, to the point that in my diary I have actually scheduled in when I am recording. I'm not going to show you, I might show you actually, I'm going to show you January, even though it is a bit of a mess, so you can see that this is my life. Yeah, lots of things going on. So that's my life. There is February, a lot going on, even though we haven't even got all the way through it yet. But I've got in here all the dates and things like that when I am hoping to record throughout the whole year. The only time that might be a little bit more difficult is when I am doing various shows, because I didn't quite plan them out as well as I thought I had, and I've got a chunk at the beginning and a chunk right at the end of the year, so those might be a little bit more difficult, but we shall see how we get on. I love a challenge, don't I? Anyway, so I'm going to go back to my notes, because this is where I keep all my notes as well. What have we got going on? I have, if you don't follow me on Instagram or even subscribe to my website, first of all, why not? Please do pop over there and subscribe to my mailing list, and also follow me on Instagram. There is a lot of information usually shared. I've been a bit quiet lately because there's been a lot going on, but I plan to be a little bit more active going forward. I have set up a Patreon, and I just want to say a massive thank you to those of you who have joined already, who've said that you would love to join, but currently funds are a bit tight, which we all know, and I totally appreciate that. If you do want to join, there are a couple of different tiers that are available. So you've got different options of how you can help. And the idea basically the reason I have set up a Patreon is because I currently dye all of my yarn in my kitchen. Which is not ideal. It does mean that we have to fully clean down the kitchen before I start doing any dyeing. What else do we do? And then immediately, as soon as I finish dyeing, we've got to clean down the kitchen. So then we can actually use it as a kitchen. So it's not ideal. It has worked for now, but it's starting to bug me. Basically, it's also starting to bug Tom, because I'm constantly in there dyeing yarn, which I don't think is a bad thing, but it means that he can't cook and we don't eat proper meals sometimes because my yarn is everywhere. Anyway, so the reason Patreon is set up is we are looking to get a studio built in our garden so I can put all of my dyeing in there. It does then mean that all the funds that are raised through Patreon are specifically put aside for that studio. So any funds received is, you have no idea, so greatly appreciated. And I do hope that you would come and join. There is an Instagram only Patreon as well. So if you do not sign up to Patreon, you do not get accepted as a friend. I've had a few people on there or a follower or whatever it's called on Instagram. I've had a few people try and follow the page, but I've not accepted because it is patron only. On there, you do get access to a lot of information. You get brand new colours, you get so you see brand new colours way before anyone else, you get all of the shop news way before anyone else. There are going to be some behind the scenes stuff. I haven't recorded any lately just because I haven't been very well. I was hoping to record some last week, but I really was not very well. So I had a few days in bed and, you know, life happens. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of things, a lot of exciting things happening on there. There's also giveaways and various other things on there. So do please come and join. It is a very small community at the moment, but hopefully it will grow and you get to ask me all sorts of weird random questions because I just love weird random questions. Why not? It's a great way to get to know people. So yes, so we've got that. There is also, I wanted to mention the, excuse me, the continuous make along that I run over on Instagram and on Ravelry. So it is, if you are on Instagram, there is a hashtag which is Blue Fern Yarns FOs. You can enter in any project that uses 50% or more of Blue Fern Yarns yarn. And every quarter I will be drawing prizes. It is because I would love the opportunity to just knit everything in my own yarn. Unfortunately, I don't have the time or the availability or even sometimes colour work. Can't do it. I've tried and I will be trying again, but it just doesn't work for me. Apparently I can't get my brain to work for that. Anyway, so yes, there is, it's just so lovely to see all of your projects. But there is also a Ravelry page. Sorry, my mind is like going, I've got so many ideas and things, thoughts. There is a Ravelry page as well, which I will link below this video. So I think below the video, you've got like a little drop down arrow, click on that, and then you'll find all the links and show notes and everything like that down below. But yeah, you can enter in on Ravelry or Instagram or both if you want to be a bit cheeky and maybe get a higher opportunity or a higher chance to actually win a prize. Why not? The prizes are usually yarn or craft related. Sometimes you get to pick a skein of yarn from my shop if that's what you would prefer, or if you want me to put a little package together, that's absolutely fine. It's basically, I've got a few gifty things that I would love to gift out to everyone. And yeah, that's what that is. So, I think that's sort of all the admin-y bits. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes because I've put them all the way over here now. So, admin-y bits, check, done. What have we got? So what I'm wearing, so I am wearing, and I'm going to insert a bit of video at some point, hopefully now. I am wearing the Simple Stripes by Suvi Knits, and it was sample knit for me by my mum. It was one of my first sample knits that was done in 2021 for me, and it has got some fairly old colourways now, and now I'm looking at it, I'm thinking I might have to bring some of them back because I really like it. It's a bit bright. I don't usually do really bright colours, but yeah, I will show you on the sleeves. There's quite a few colours in there, so let's see if I remember the names. This is going to be fun, isn't it? So this is Urban Jungle, Green Seas, Summer Skies, Grasshopper, Oh Honey Honey, Rainforest, and Emerald or Conifer. I don't remember that one. But anyway, so that's the colours that are in this. I I believe it was size 4 in the pattern that was knit, and we used not even the whole skein, but it was like 50 grams of about 7 colours, and we still had like a chunk of colour of each colour left. But yeah, hopefully you've seen the little insert the video, if I can get that to work. But yeah, it's quite a well-worn jumper. I like it. It's a 4-ply one, so it's quite a thin one, so just be aware if you're after a slightly thicker one, maybe not go for that one, but it's a very nice knit. I've knit one that it wasn't a stripe one. I did it as a fade, but the pattern itself is really nice and it fits really lovely, so why not? Okay, I'm going back to my notes because, yeah, we all need notes in life, don't we? I do. Okay, so we've got a couple of finished objects, a couple of whips, and some shop news. So I'm going to dive straight in. I'm not, because I can't remember which bag they're in. No, not that one. This one. In fact, I'm going to do that one afterwards, because that will lead into a whip as well. So the first one I've got, which is a finished object, this is my ranunculus. So this was sample knit for me by a lovely lady in my Moody Skies colourway. It is a ranunculus. It is I've done this. My lovely sample knitter has made this for me out of 4-ply yarn. I'm going to hold it up and see if it will focus. Hopefully it will. Looks quite cropped there. It's not that cropped. I'm going to insert like a photo of me wearing it just so you can see what it looks like. I've written down some notes about it so you can sort of find out. So the neckline we did, so there's a couple of necklines in the pattern. There's one that's sort of shaped and then one that's not shaped. So the not shaped one sits quite wide on your shoulders, but the shaped one obviously slightly higher at the back, and sits quite nicely. So this one's the shaped one. What else was it? This is only 125 grams and size 2 in the pattern. Because the pattern has quite a lot of positive ease, I don't mind a bit of positive ease because, you know, we don't like everything being super tight. But I didn't want so much. So the reason I wanted it in 4-ply is I wanted it as a bit of a summer top. And believe me, I am going to knit myself one of these because it is beautiful. It fits really nicely. So you can see you've got the shape of the neckline just there. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, you've got the gorgeous stitching pattern. Stitching pattern, is that right? Anyway, gorgeous pattern just there. And then I've got short sleeves. The sleeves are slightly longer than the short sleeves suggested, but I really like where they come to. It just sits really, really nicely. And then it's just stocking stitch, and then I believe it's 1x1 twisted rib on the bottom as well. And there's like a couple of inches of that, which honestly, I just love this. It fits really nicely. It looks really nice. Hopefully you will have seen by the image that I've popped in that it fits really nicely. So yes, very much looking forward to wearing that in summer. As I said, it's 125 grams for size 2. I would normally knit sort of the 4th size in a pattern, give or take, depending on the sizings available and things like that. And yeah, and as you've seen, it fits quite nicely. It's not too tight, it's not too loose either, and I love this. It's really lovely. On to the next finished object. This is sort of sitting, I say it's a finished object and I will explain all in a minute, but this is sitting in my Eldenwood craft bag. Emma makes the most beautiful bags. I've got a couple from her. So yeah, I've got a couple from her and honestly they are stunning. She has this great handle which is just here, so if you are one of those people who can knit and walk at the same time, these bags are ideal for you. It's got a drawstring close. I don't know why we all knitters feel the need to prove that it closes, because we all sit there and go like, it drawstring closes or whatever. But I just realised we all do it. And it's got one of her lovely little labels, Eldon Wood, on there, which is lovely. And you've got a couple of big pockets just in there as well. So yes, hopefully you'll go and get one because they are amazing. So finished objects. So this is technically like a half finished object, but I'm counting it as a full finished object. If you watched last month's episode or the last episode, you will know that I am making Tom a box of socks. Yay! I'm so excited about it. I think I'm probably more excited about it than he will be receiving it, because he doesn't know it's for him yet. He thinks that I'm just making sample socks for the shop, which, you know, if I can get away with it, I will. Anyway, so this is the carnation sock. I've not blocked it. I have my hair attached to it because, you know, don't we all? But yeah, so this is the January sock. This is the carnation sock. And with this set, it actually came with 2 mini skeins. So you've got like this solid corally pinky reddy kind of colour, and then you've got this dark green, olivey green kind of colour that goes with it as well. But this was the sock, and I haven't blocked it. I am not going to block them until right near the end, or until I've got a pair. And what I'm doing is a box of odd socks for Tom, because he likes my socks, but I get bored of making his socks because his feet are a lot bigger than mine. So when it comes to it, I get like halfway down the foot and I'm like, oh my God, why have you got such a long foot? It doesn't actually look that long there, but it feels like it goes forever when you're knitting it. So yeah, so Tom's got this one, so that's a finished object. And the club that I'm using, if I didn't mention, is my monthly sock club that I am doing, which is the Birth Month Flowers. Birth Month Flowers? Yeah, Birth Month Flowers. And if you don't want to see this one, because this is February's, although it has been shipped for a little while, hopefully everyone has received it. I haven't had anyone come back to me and tell me that they haven't received it. But this is February's, and this is the Violets set. So you can see that basically the recipe is going to be the same all the way. For every single sock, the recipe is going to be the same. So you've got 1 by 1 twisted rib, and I believe I do 15 rounds for that. And then I've got a number of rounds for the leg. I cannot remember what that is, but I have got it written down in my trusty notebook. Then it's going to have heel, flap and gusset, and he normally prefers the, what is it called? The afterthought heel. But because he walked in on me knitting on it one day, on this one, I was about to do the heel, and then I was like, oh, I can't do it if he's here, because he knows that I don't prefer that. I prefer the heel, flap and gusset. So to hide it, I've made him the heel, flap and gusset ones. So I have started. I'm about halfway. I just need to do about over halfway, I think. So I need to do a few more rows. Then I get to do the magic of the heel turn, which I just absolutely love. I think it is magic. It feels like magic when I'm doing it. Anyway, so yes, that is sort of February's, and this is January's. So hopefully you can see the flowers sort of poking through on them. Maybe, I don't know, flower colours. March's set will not be up by the time this is published, but April's will be going up. If I have any spare March sets, they will be available. But they are of the daffodil, and I am so excited about dyeing those up because yellow is always such a happy colour in my opinion. And yeah, I'm looking forward to dyeing those. And I keep saying and I don't even know why. I know what I want to say, I just can't think of the words, maybe, I don't know. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this back in the DPN. In fact, the DPN case is this one, and I got this from Ellie at Craft House Magic. Oh, if I just pop that one open. So there's her logo. Hopefully that focused because I didn't see that. But yeah, she makes some lovely project bags and notion pouches and all of the yarny goodness. So I'm just going to pop that in there so I don't basically rip this one with the needles at any point. But yeah, so that's really nice. Hopefully that will grow throughout the year and I will be able to present Tom with a box of socks at the end of the year, which I think he'll like. And he loves odd socks anyway, to the point where I think I said this last time, and I'm sorry if I'm going to say it again, but he says life is too short to wear matching socks. Whereas I'm looking down at my feet because I'm wearing matching socks. If I don't wear matching socks, I feel like my life is falling apart. It makes me feel like I've got my shit together. And I know that is so weird and random, but you know, it's the little things, right? My next whip is almost finished, and you'll see it next time when it is finished, because there isn't too much to do, but I'll explain. It is sitting in another Eldenwood craft bag. So this is another Emma Eldenwood craft bag, and this was part of the collaboration that we did for last year. It was in the summer and it was called Party in the Park, and I did some yarn to match her bag, and she found this fabric and we both fell in love with it, and I did some yarn to match it, and it was just so lovely, such a great little collaboration. Yeah, and I got a bag and she got some yarn from me, so we kind of swapped as well. So that was it was so lovely. I really enjoyed it. And in this bag is sitting, I say it's sitting, it's a, what have I got? Sorry, I thought I was going to lose a stitch marker then. I'm not, that's fine. So it doesn't look very impressive when you just hold this one up. So you've got this one, and then you've got this one. So I am actually making a cushion for my nan, and I'm going to pause here. So this is the cushion that I've made, and as you can see, I have used the Coziest Memories blanket pattern by Kemper Ray. I have edited it quite a bit. I say quite a bit, and because it's a free pattern, I'm going to share what I've done. I did contact them to ask them if I could write out the pattern and just post it for free on my blog, but I haven't heard anything. And it's a free pattern, so maybe I'm not going to sell the pattern or anything, so I'm not going to make money from their work, but I think everybody knows how to make these squares in one way or another. So as you can see, it is 5 by 5, so it's 25 squares. I cast on 40 stitches and then worked the decreases as per the pattern, how they explain it, sort of thing. I've obviously joined them together. They're all facing the same way, just because I'm a little bit OCD like that. Not that that's a bad thing. There is also written in the pattern, so you can change the directions of these little decrease lines. And I mean, I've seen some fantastic ones that in blankets where they've made like almost a star shape, where they've made crosses, all sorts of different things. So this is my one. And then on the back, it has got a giant, and I mean giant, one that took forever. I was going to call it mitered square. It's not mitered square. It's basically the same thing, isn't it? The same sort of pattern. So it's a giant square with the decrease line down the middle. And for this one, I cast on 200 stitches. So 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. Because you cast on 40 and each side is 20, is 100. So I cast on 200 So you've got 100 down one side and 100 down another, and then did the decreases. And then what I did is I did this really cool join. It's an I-cord join. Hopefully you can see that. So I did this I-cord join just to join it together. It does mean it completely seals in the cushion pad, but I don't have children. Bennett stays away from the cushion, so you know I'm quite lucky with that. So hopefully it will stay clean, but if not, I deal with yarn and wool all day every day, so you know I can clean it, and I'm okay with that because I am, basically. But yeah, so that's the finished cushion, and that is what my nan has asked me to make. So she actually picked out these colours out of my random minis stash that I had, and she picked out this large colour. She picked out this colour as well, saying that's what she wanted. So she's a bit more adventurous in colour than I am usually. And the idea is that they will be joined together. I've got some more of this one left to do the I-cord edge, but I just need to buy the pillow cushion filling bit, which I've not done. But I do plan to do at some point. And as soon as I have, I will finish the cushion. So you won't see it again until it is actually finished. So it's an almost finished project. Almost. We'll get there one day, right? So yeah, so there is that. So that's really good. And I'm really pleased with it. I'm so glad that I finished it. I actually wrote down when I started it. So I started it on the 4th of July 2022. And I've only just finished it, whereas this one that I made myself, I did all the mini squares over one weekend. I think it was a bank holiday weekend in May. And I was addicted to it. I loved seeing it grow. It was really nice. I took the bank holiday weekend off just to sit and do nothing, which was amazing. I never normally do that, but yeah, it was great. And the squares use anywhere between 2 and 4 grams of scrap 4-ply yarn. So if you've got like really, really small scraps, you could probably get away with it. I think even one of them, let me see if I can find it actually. I know that one of the squares I didn't quite have enough to finish it, so I finished it in an ever so slightly different colour, but it wasn't so drastic that it was really, really obvious. Yeah, there we go. So you can see you've got a tiny stripe or tiny square there that's got a little bit paler. I mean, I think that's fine. You can't really notice it. It took me a minute to find it. So I think you could get away with that. Or you could make them really contrasty and have a stripy square. Why not? Is that a thing, a stripy square? I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling now. But anyway, it's a great pattern. I really enjoy it, and you've got a really cute cushion. Sometimes you want something where you can use your scraps, but it doesn't have to go into a blanket all the time. You can turn a blanket into a cushion, like so. I do think it's a great way to use up your scraps. And yeah, I just absolutely love it. So why not? And then we've got one more whip, which I put down here. This is living in, so it's the So Beautiful by Nicola. And this bag was gifted to me by my mum. And I love it. It's so cute with the little foxes and the little teepees. It's very cute. I like it. And it's got like this denim, I wonder whether it was jeans at one point, but you've got like this denim edge, and inside, I'm not going to pull it up, but you've got a bit where you can pull it up and drawstring it so it's all closed and sealed so you don't lose anything, but I'm not doing that because I have got so much in here. In fact, that's attached, so, but I've got all of this in here. I don't know if this will show you all of it or not. I don't want any of them to come out. So we've got a stash of mini skeins. And if you recognise some of the colours, well done. They are from Beth at Beehive Yarns 2022 Advent. And And I knew that I wanted to make something with it pretty quick, because one of my goals this year is to use my current stash. So because this is current stash technically, because you know it's current, I have cast on a crochet blanket. I knew that I wanted to crochet something with it, but I didn't know what, and it took me ages to find this pattern, or to decide on this pattern. So this is what I've done so far. I've very nearly done the repeat of every single colour. I've got like one more row of this last colour to do. And this is Beth from Beehive Yarns Advent. And this pattern that I am using is the so it's the Dahlia blanket by Lucy at Attic 24. And I'm going to see if I can get really, really close. Can you see the pattern? If I do the bottom bit, you might be able to see like the little toothy bit on there. Does that make sense? Hang on. Let me see if I can get a little bit closer. So it's striped, and you've got like these little toothy bits that go down. Spike stitches or whatever you want to call them. And that's what I'm making with this Advent. You can see that the fade is so lovely. And it's quite pleasant to knit. It is quite a small blanket for what I'm making, because I knew I only wanted to use the Beehive Yarns Advent and I didn't want to use anything else. I literally just wanted to leave it as just that, as a blanket. I decided to cast on, I think she calls it, what does she call it? I can't remember. If I find the word, I'll pop it on the screen. But I don't think it's a baby blanket, but I think it is something between a baby blanket and a lap blanket. It is a free pattern, and it links to her blog, so I will link that so you can see where you can make your own one if you want. Yeah, and it's a very simple repeat. Once you've got the repeat down a couple of times, you don't need to look at the pattern again. You can just follow it. If you can read your crochet, you can see that I've got a million ends to sew in. Hang on. Yeah, all these ends need sewing in. I don't know whether I'm going to be really lazy and just braid them in one way or another. I don't know. But anyway, so yeah. I don't quite know how I'm going to work the next bit, because there is still quite a bit of yarn in there. Each stripe uses about 5 grams of yarn, so I might be able to get 4 repeats, because I got a 20 gram Advent, so I might be able to get 4 repeats out of it, so hopefully it'll be a decent length. But yeah, I'm really liking it. And the one that I started off with, because your cast on row with crochet always takes up quite a bit of yarn, I have decided to use, this is again another one that was in my stash, but it's my own yarn. So this is Pampas, and yeah, that is what it is really. I don't know what else to say, but yeah, so that is Pampas, and that's why the beginning end is really, really white. I think I might put another white stripe in here, just to separate out the sections. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't quite decided. I know I've got to do... there we go. And I've just undone a load of stitches while I'm talking to you. Hold on. Let me pull that through so I don't pull off any more. There we go. So yeah, I've only done half a row on this one, so I've got to do a bit more and then one all the way back, and then that is 1 row, and that's what I've got to do out of this one, and then I've done 1 repeat. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. I'm really pleased, and it's really nice to do a different crochet blanket, because I get into the habit of just making my cozy comfort blanket pattern, which is, there is nothing wrong with it at all. I love it. It's just meditative, and you just keep going and going, and you can use up all your scraps or anything like that. And I'm looking over there because that is where it is. It sits on the back of my chair, unless I'm cold and I want to use it. But yeah, so yeah, that is basically everything really. I do really want to cast on a few different other things. I have got a secret project. I've got a stack of yarn sitting on my little shelf just here, because I'm in the middle of designing a pattern. It's a bit overwhelming sometimes sitting here and you have yarn everywhere. But yeah, I do want to cast on a bunch of other things, but I just don't know where to start. It is a bit overwhelming sometimes, so I have decided I'm just going to try and finish off some of my projects. So the whips that I've got going are literally the only whips I've got. My secret one that you can't see anything about yet, the crochet one, the socks, and the cushion. That is literally... Oh yeah, and Tom's Halloween sock from last year, which I will finish at some point. I did the first one, I just didn't do the second one. Maybe I'll throw it in the odd socks one, maybe. I don't know. It's so bad. I'm so bad when I make socks for Tom. Anyway, if you stuck through here until here, thank you very much. I have got a little bit of shop news that I would like to share with you. If you don't want to stick around for the shop news, that is absolutely fine. Thank you for sticking around as long as you have. And yeah, that's just fantastic. I am going to grab some yarns because I forgot to bring them all downstairs with me because they are currently sat upstairs in my office, because I would like to show you some of the new stuff that's coming to the shop. The next shop update is happening on Thursday the 23rd of February 2023 at 7 p.m. UK time. There are a few changes happening, nothing drastic, just a couple of different things, basically. First up, we will be introducing the April pre-order for the palettes and the sock sets. I am also going to be introducing a 3 monthly option. So that means you'll be able to buy April, May and June all together. Yeah. So the idea for bringing the April, May and June together means that it will reduce the shipping costs, meaning that it should hopefully save you a bit of money. And that's what I would love to be able to do for everyone, is try and save anyone a bit of money on shipping where possible. Because we all know everything's going up in price. Nobody's got any money for anything. But we do have to make sure we stay sane. And one of the ways that I stay sane is knitting and crocheting. I'm sure some people would disagree with that. But it's one of the things that helps me. So there is going to be that option as well. It is not a subscription order. It's a buy-in as and when you want to. Obviously, if you buy the 3 months together, it will mean that you will not get your clubs until after June. Hang on. April, May, June. So April, May, June. So the way that I do my clubs is you get them prior to the month that you actually need them for. But obviously, if you order the 3 months, you won't get that. You should get them before the beginning of June, but it will take you up to the end of June, if that makes sense. But yeah, hopefully that will make sense. I will pop it all in a subscriber email. So if you do want to subscribe to my website, please do. I will put it in a more coherent way in the newsletter and send that round to everyone just before the shop update. The other thing that is happening is I am going to be removing my dyed to order section. Not completely, it isn't gone forever. If there is something that you want and you can't find it on the website or you can't find the quantity that you want, just get in touch. I will be still doing some dyed to orders. But the main reason that I am removing it from the website is because I am changing the way I run Blue Fern Yarns ever so slightly. Basically, what I would like to introduce is a core collection. And I'm going to be showing you some of the colours. It's not all of the colours because not all of them are dry. There are some more under there, as usual, drying. But this is core tonals collection that I will be releasing. They will be on the website. They will not have limited numbers, so you can buy as much or as little as you want. I will always have a lot of this in stock, but if I don't have the right numbers for your order, it will be done as a dyed to order. This will be noted in the listings, but you get to select any of the yarn bases that I offer. You can select any numbers of the yarns that you want. So if you want 6, you can get 6. If you want 2, you can get 2. It doesn't matter either way, and it will always be on a first come first serve basis. So if I've got, for example, 10 orders for the same colour, whoever put their order in first will get their yarn first, basically. And the idea is to create this core collection because one of the things that I do love is about commercial yarn mostly is finding colours that I like, wanting to go back to them later and they don't exist. And I find that quite difficult. Just because I don't have a project in mind there and then doesn't mean I don't want that yarn for something in the future. I don't always have the funds to buy it, to then put it in stash to use for that project later, if that makes any sort of sense. Hopefully you guys are following along on this. But yeah, so there is a core tonals collection coming to the shop. There will be some variegated ones that will be coming as well, but I'm starting off with these tonal ones for now, and hopefully you will enjoy and like the way I run my shop going forwards. These colours will also be at various yarn shows throughout the year with me. Did that make sense? That sounds like that was really bad English. They will be with me at yarn shows throughout the year. Whatever way makes sense. Pretend I said it. Pretend I said it. As long as it makes sense. So I've got a few of the core collection colours here. So some of these are colours that have been in the shop before. They're ones that I really enjoy dyeing, and I will be continuing to dye them going forwards. So again, these are not all of them. These are just the ones that are wound and dried and wound. Some of them even have labels on them, which is amazing. So we've got this one, which is Concrete, which is a gorgeous soft grey. And it's kind of that grey that goes with everything. I'm not even kidding. It literally goes with everything. It goes with everything. So we've got Concrete, which is here. We've got a new one, which is almost black. It's looking more charcoal-y on here, which I suppose charcoal is almost black anyway. So, and it is, you've got tonal bits, so it is slightly lighter and slightly darker on different bits, just because that's one of the beauties of hand-dyed yarn. And this is called After Dark. Oh, I love that one. I think I might need a jumper in this. What do we think? I basically want a jumper in all of these, so watch this space. If you want to do any sample knitting for me, please get in touch, and we can discuss what you may like to knit, because the other thing with sample knitting is I do want you to knit something you actually want to make, and give you the choice of a few options, because then that way you get to knit something you want, you get the pattern because I buy the pattern for you, and you could make it yourself in the future. You do get paid in yarn as well, which is always a good thing. But anyway, this one here is Mulberry, which, I love this rich purpley colour. It's about right there. Yeah, it's about right there. I'll pull it back. Well, it's about right there as well, actually. All the way back here. So you've got this dark tonal Mulberry, which was part of the autumn collection. And I have written down this name and I cannot remember it. Hold on. Bear with me. I've got various notebooks down here. Actually quite easy. So we've got this. Oh, that's really blowing it out. Don't know. Oh. That is really blowing out. I am going to have to see if I can get a good photo. If I can, I will pop that in just here. It's blowing it out quite a bit, but this is called Amaranth. I don't know why that's blowing that out. It's kind of it's a darker pink. It's definitely a darker pink. If you Google Amaranth, you might even find the right colour, because there's various tones of Amaranth, but it is the darker pinker one. Anyway, we have got, oh, and this one's blowing out. Why is the reds and pinks blowing out? So this is Wine O'Clock. If you have been here before, oh, there we go. That is that colour. So let's see if that, there we go. So this is Amaranth, this pinky one. And then this one is Wine O'Clock, the darker red. We have got this one here, which is Cinnamon. And then we've got this one, which is Biscuit. Oh, I love all these. The only thing is, I don't think I look that great in browns and yellows, but I might just ignore it and do a jumper in them anyway. This is The Hunt. And then we've got Ink. So, I'm going to see if I can lift all of these up. I probably can't, and this is going to end up in a disaster. But shall we see? We will see. Let me pop them all the way around. There we go. So this is the start of the Tonal Core collection. And they will be available on Thursday, the 23rd of February at 7 p.m. UK time. And yeah, hopefully you will see a benefit in the way I'm updating the shop. It just means that I will have colours that you can come back to over and over again. They are all quite dark colours at the moment, but there are some paler ones again over there drying. And as soon as I can, I will be sharing them, and they will add to the collection throughout the year, along with some variegated ones again as and when they are dry and available. So hopefully you will see the collection grow and be able to find your yarn that you want as and when you want it. I think that's sort of what you want, really, isn't it? But yeah, hopefully you like the benefit of this. But again, doesn't mean that I am not dyeing different colours throughout the year as usual. I will always be bringing new things into the shop as and when. And hopefully you do like those and you'll see the benefit of those as well. We shall see. But yeah, I think that is everything. I had to stop the video, but obviously I don't know how long this episode is going to be now. But yes, hopefully you like this video. Please do give it a thumbs up. Share on social media if you can. Just a little video of what you're watching, or a little photo of what you're watching, or anything like that, or yeah, anything like that. Anything where you can share is really, really appreciated. It just helps me grow and helps reach people who may not have seen my yarns yet, who may be interested in them. I don't know. So I think that is everything. So I am going to end the episode here, hopefully, before I keep rambling and rambling and rambling, which I realise I'm already doing. It's lovely to speak to you again. Take care. Bye.